Hey everybody, and welcome to World of Tanks with Techno. Today I'm going to fully narrate a video, so let me know what you think. If you like the narration and like me doing the play-by-play, give me a like on my video and leave me a comment. If you don't like the play-by-play narration, well, like the video and leave me a comment. Anyway, we've got a video today of me and my 5100 again. We're on the swamp map, and the battle type is standard battle. The AMX 5100 is an interesting tier 8 heavy. It doesn't really play too much like any of the other heavies. You don't have any real armor to rely on, so you really have to rely on positioning. Early on here in the game, what I'm doing is I'm kind of just taking up a central location. I definitely don't want to be the first enemy spotted by the enemy team, so I'm just going to kind of hang back and let my scouts see if they can identify some targets. The AMX 1375 gets an early spot off on a Panther M10, and I quickly poke this corner and take a clutch shot at him. Now, surprisingly enough, that actually hit. If you're familiar with the French tanks at all, you'll know that they have pretty horrible aim time, and their ability to take clutch shots like that is pretty abysmal. So it was actually a pretty good start to the game here with me getting that clutch shot off. What I have done on this tank to help with that aim time issue is I have mounted both the vertical stabilizer and the enhanced gun laying drive. And with those two modifications, it really has helped my game, and it really has made this tank a lot more fun. If you plan on going up the French heavy tree or even the French light tree, I definitely would recommend getting both those enhancements on your tank. Alright, so looking at the minimap, I noticed that the north here is looking a little weak, so I repositioned to try to get some supporting fire on to the 3 heavy tanks that we have identified over on this flank. We do have a T-29, and what I'm thinking right now with the T-29 is it's a very strong defensive tank, and he'll be able to kind of hold that flank there, and then I can provide supporting fire from this side. However, with 3 enemy heavies and me not having a whole lot of cover right here, what I want to do is try to reposition and kind of get off their radar a little bit. So I go ahead and reload my clip, and I start backing up to change positioning a little bit to get some more cover between me and the heavies in the town. However, plans change, and one thing this tank is, if nothing else, is flexible. So as I'm repositioning here and getting my clip reloaded, the enemies quickly dismantle our T-29 over there, leaving the north flank completely open except for our 2 tank destroyers up on that hill. So I know what I need to do. I need to go get eyes for these tank destroyers. Tank destroyers are great, but if they're the ones doing the spotting, they can't really fire effectively, because as soon as they fire, they get spotted themselves, and that quickly leads to their destruction. So we want to get spots on the enemies so our tank destroyers can stay in nice concealed locations and not take damage when they give me supporting fire. Now as I try to get over here to get some spots, I see an KV-1S just YOLOing through the field here. So I decide to quickly remove him from the game. We took his tracks off there with our second shot, which spun him around and threw off his aim on his shot, which saves us from taking damage from him. And then there's the T-32 in town, who also missed his shot, allowing us to get into cover over here with taking no damage. I only had 2 rounds left in the clip at this point, so I go ahead and do a reload on that and poke the corner to get a spot on the KV-5. I want to try to keep these heavy tanks spotted so that our tank destroyers up on the hill are able to fire effectively at them. And I want to go ahead and poke the corner here as well. What I don't want to happen is have this T-32 and KV-5 work together to flank me. Alright, so I see that the T-32 seems to be pretty happy back there in the town. He doesn't seem to be moving, so I want to go ahead and check on the KV-5 again. And he's gone. Okay. Well, I've got a full clip, so let's go see what happened to the KV-5. Alright, now, when I first come up upon him here, put a shell there, and wait a second. Did I just bounce off the rear of the KV-5? No, I didn't, actually. He reversed that whole way, and so I was shooting at his front. When I came around the corner, I really thought I had his rear armor, so I was just putting him into that lower plate of what I thought was the rear armor, and turned out to be the front plate. So I quickly readjust and put one into the R2 turret. The T-32 is low on health, so we put a quick 3 shells into him, and we remove him from the game as well. Now at this point, I am reloading a clip. I had actually really expected to take a shot there from the T-32. T-32s do not have a horrible reload rate or anything along those lines, and he was able to get his gun around to point at me. So I had expected to take a shell. My only guess as to what happened there was either he was waiting a little fraction of a second too long on the aim time, or he was ammo racked and still reloading from firing at our tank destroyers on the hill there. Either way, good result for me. We're up to 4 kills, and the game is tied 9-9. We need to keep the pressure on the enemy tanks, so I go ahead and start moving west. What I want to do here is I want to flank the enemy team and start getting some spots on the ones, the enemies that are in the mid and south area. That way our tank destroyers, our Ferdinand and our Nashorn here, can get some effective fire onto them. Now, if you'll remember, at the beginning of the match, we put a clutch shot into a Panther M10. I had really expected to find the Panther M10 on my way along the west flank here, but I didn't. So my next instinct is to check his last known location, which is right where we left him. And yeah, the Panther M10 has not moved the whole game. So let's get rid of him. I put a clutch shot in there, and our Ferdinand finishes him off. Having only expended 1 round so far in the clip, I'm not going to go ahead and reload or anything like that. I want to just keep pushing my advantage. Now the M10 obviously would have spotted me, so I wait a little bit of time here to let that spot wear off. And what I want to do too is I also want to go pretty wide. I have a good idea that the enemy are probably around that center mountain right there, but my view range is not sufficient enough to spot anything, but I do want to try to not get spotted myself. So I go around pretty wide here. However, yep, they have apparently seen me. That's a ricochet from the 1375, and those are 2 rounds coming in from what I can guess to be the IS-3 and prototype. Luckily they do miss, so I go ahead and go up the hill here, trying to get some spots on those enemy tanks that just fired at me. And surprise, artillery. Alright, that worked out really well for me. So I look where his gun's pointing, and we do a little dance around the rock here. And I come around and put a round into him to remove him from the game. Alright, so we're in a really strong position here. This is an excellent place for me to reload. So I go ahead and start reloading. Now, another reason I did a reload here is because I really thought the enemy IS-3 was at full health. The last time I had seen him, he was undamaged. So, I know I can't kill a full health IS-3 reliably in one clip, so I went ahead and reloaded, with 4 rounds, so I go ahead and reload to get the 6 of them back, which should be able to kill an IS-3. Average damage for a full clip on the 90mm on the 5100 is 1800 damage, so that's what we were going for then. Our Ferdinand is able to put a shell into the IS-3, which starts to turn him around. I then put a shell into him, which starts to turn him back toward me. And the Ferdinand pokes the corner and removes the IS-3. The IS-3 dying by the Ferdinand seems to have made the prototype driver a little worried, so he's flipping his armor around to counter the IS-3, which allows me to put 4 rounds into the back of him and remove him from the game as well. Alright, so there's 3 kills in rapid succession, and we have really dominated the rest of this game. A game that was pretty equal is pretty much over at this point. So we're going to go ahead and push up toward the cap. What I'm thinking is that maybe the 1375 retreated up to the hill here and was trying to get some spotting going. That was what I definitely would have done in his place, but what he actually did, yeah, he snuck up north. You'll notice on the mini-map he just has been spotted up by our flag. So What I want to do then is I want to go ahead and come over here and start capping on the base. I know that the 1375 is probably attempting to do that as well, and sure enough, he starts capping ours. If we had not taken those enemies out so quickly, this could have been a real problem. If we had been pinned down from those enemy tanks while he was capping, he could have secured the victory. But we removed them and started the cap early. Ferdinand driver, I want to give a shout out to the Ferdinand driver. He did really well. He was paying attention and was able to come up and help us secure the win with the cap there. And that's the game. So let's take a look at see how we did. Alright, so we secured our top gun. That's 6 kills. We were able to earn 52,000 credits and 1,800 experience. That is with premium, 1,200 without premium, but still either of those numbers is a fantastic score in my book. If we go to the team score tab, you'll see we did about 3,200 damage. And another shout out here to the enemy Ferdinand, I'm sorry, not Ferdinand, but prototype driver. He was able to do 3,200 damage, and you know, if he'd had maybe 1 or 2 people else on his team that was just slightly better, he probably would have been able to carry that win for them, but sadly not the case. So we got 20 hits, 20 shots fired, 19 hits, and 18 pins. Detected 3 enemies, damaged 2 and killed 6. And got some pretty good base capture and distance traveled. So we really were doing some work this round. All in all, we netted 46,019 credits, which is a good return. And overall, it was a great game. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.